y'all. Shalom world. Welcome everybody to ReligionWinked TV, where my spiritual ears stay. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the coat, the hated coat of many colors. That's right, honey. Have you ever received anything where it actually was a blessing and a curse at the same time? And how did you deal with it? What happened to you behind it? Did anybody come to the rescue? Well, we're going to hear about a young guy, whose dad loved him so much in old age that he gave him a coat of many colors. And that same coat brought some of his stepbrothers, half-brothers, brothers by other mothers with the same father, as we've been learning, right? To hate him. To hate him so much that they actually wanted to get rid of him, hoping, I guess, in the end that he would die off and their father wouldn't love him as much. Probably begin to love one of them as much after they done did what they did to one of the younger brothers. Like, sick people, right? That's our ancestors, though. Welcome to the Morning Read, episode 325, y'all. The hated coat of many colors, given to us by none other than Joeseph. Now, I don't know if he's really the younger brother or not. I believe Benjamin is, but Joeseph might be. We read in 35 through, 34 through 36, the genealogy. Now 37 is going to take us into the coat of many colors. And God knows where else by the time we get to chapter 39. Maybe to Egypt. You're watching ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ears stay. Maybe to Egypt, y'all, because I think that's where Joeseph ends up. And people will say, as the prince of Egypt, he went from the prison to the palace. Okay, but I want you to know, before that even happens, somebody may love you enough to give you a gift, such as a coat of many colors. And then people around you may hate you enough because of it. So have you ever received a blessing, something that was a blessing on one end, where your parents or whoever, your boss, your spouse, whoever, loved you so much and gave you something and honored you in such a way, and then those around you, family, siblings, spouses, co-workers, get so jealous of you and envious of you, it caused them to hate you and want to kick you out the will and get you out the family and shun you and reject you and get you fired off your job and get your relationship screwed up. Kind of like what's going on with Tasha K, Von Ray, whoever the hell he is. I'm going to tell y'all all about it once I get these 2 morning reads done. Little Chelsea City. Hey, Chelsea. And old Storm Monroe over there chasing. Storm, is you on a witch hunt? I'll be your friend, Storm. We just ain't going to no after clubs and OnlyFans and all that stuff. Or, baby, it's so much going on with them. It is ridiculous. Anyway, welcome to the Morning Read, y'all, where we get to on and popping and messy over here with this Bible, okay? And today we are going to get it on and popping and messy with chapter 37, 38, 39 in the book of Genesis, okay? And with that being said, before we go any further, you guys know some people like to get up and read people to filth. Well, I like to get up and read people to life. That's life more abundantly. And you better believe, baby, we know that the Messiah, Old Covenant, Hebrew tongue, that Paul says he had a vision from, that gave the other 12 apostles the word of God, right? Anyway, he's the way, the truth, and the life. Except the man go through him, woman, child, family, generations, they cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So it's important that we teach these people who the kingdom belong to, how it exists, and all that other stuff. And Christians, unfortunately, John 10:7 through 18 says something totally different than what Paul is teaching in Christianity. So that's always been up for discussion, okay? Let me see. I might have to move this microphone over. There we go. Let's see if that works. All right, so now basically we are going to go ahead. Oh, and also people are physically deaf. They can't see, they can't hear, they can't read the Bible, comprehend it, understand it, perceive it. And it wasn't for all people. That's why the Messiah spoke in parables. So for the whole world to say the word of God is meant for understanding for everybody, that's still up for discussion as well if you guys care to discuss it. Anyway, so we also know that there's lost souls, demonic souls, wicked souls, evil in the world. Probably if they can open up their ears and they don't be deaf anymore, begin to hear the word of God, they have an opportunity, we all do, you and I, to hear the word of God and repent. The more you know, the Bible says, comes sorrow, not the blessings that comes without sorrow and repentance. The more you know about the truth that's being revealed in these last days, the more you become sorrowful. In fact, like, you didn't know, who would keep you in the dark? Why would they go against God? I never knew this before. It was never teach this way in the church. So there's a lot of things going on that will make a person fall away from God and not trust any of it. And again, that's why we got to get the truth out there. And I need you guys to share, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me if you can, okay? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and share this to Facebook while we are at it. Hold on one second, y'all. So, how's your day going today? Good? All right, so let's read episode 325, The Hated Coat of Many Colors. Let's go Genesis chapters. Actually, let's just go Genesis chapter 37. All right, let's see. Chapter 37? Nope, let's give him the whole. All right, there we go. All right, guys, so that is shared. And now back to you. All right, so yeah, the hated coat of many colors. I got all the disclaimers. Oh, don't forget your Bibles and your teacups, guys. I have a little bit of coffee here left for you guys. Let's see. But it's lukewarm, and I'm telling you, I'm beyond coffee at these days. I think I'm switching over to tea. Yeah, coffee is just, I'm just, it's the thing of the past, okay? It really is. But before we go any further and get into Genesis chapter 31, 37 through 39, I wanted to show you guys that I tried to get the coat of many colors I shared on my timeline yesterday. But it was really, really, my legs, hold on, y'all. Let me put them up. Oh, my God. But it was really, really, really far-fetched for me to do. So I took a thumbnail with some of the colorful things that I have in my closet. And I really don't have colorful outerwear. I have reds, I have golds, I have things of that nature, absolutely. But I don't really have like, I have shirts, I have scarves, but most of my trench coats, furs, leathers are black, tan, nude, um, that kind of color. Unique colors, but not multi like a coat of many colors. But I had other things that I can share with you guys. So some of the first things I want to share with you guys is this pocketbook right here. I mean, I'm not gonna get up, but I'm gonna do my best to show you guys the pocketbook. And on the back is just stripes, but it's many colors, right? And something as simple as this can cause someone to be envious of you. But when your father have 11 other brothers by 3 other mothers, and your mother makes the 4th one, and you have a brother with your mother, and he teams up with your half brothers because your father loved you so much in his old age that he honors you with a coat of many colors. Could Jacob have given them all a coat of many colors? He gave them more than that for the love of God. He gave them lands, which the enemy came and took. He gave them inheritances, blessings that Christianity came and took. He gave them so much stuff, y'all. So I like this brown one because I have boots and it just goes so with so much. And again, these are just little bags I've held on to over the years. Absolutely. That can spice up an outfit, put a belt on with something. Now, this is one of my favorites because over the years, I got these bags. I do believe in New York City for like $5, $10 a bag one year. And I seen them all, and I'm the type of person, hey, I gotta get each one in each color, right? So basically, this one, it's black, and it have pink and black stripes on the back of it. Welcome to the morning read, which was due yesterday. It was due yesterday, but I basically am doing it now. It's kind of like the coat, the hated coat of many colors. Joseph gets a coat, but it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time. His dad blessed him because he's in old age and probably ain't having no more children like some of you and I. So you award that last child or the youngest child or the one you love the most, let's keep it real, with something special. And then the rest of the brothers looking at it like, who does he think he is? And set out to kill you. Well, hopefully it doesn't go that far with you and your family. But I know because of some things that I may have or the Lord bless me with, or he says men are given unto your bosoms if you give to people and do things in your life. And this, I like this right here. This came from Family Dollar, y'all. And it's one of my many colors. But the sleeves are humongous. It was like $12, $10. The sleeves, and I bought it in an extra so it'll hang off of me. I got like a size or 2 up, but it's just such a beautiful color. And you can pair it with either one of these pocketbooks. I mean, and that's just the, make it a vibe or whatever. Put you some, I don't know what y'all would do, but me, I'm into my little 3/4 like ankle booties, and I'm into the knee high booties, and I'm into like heels and stuff like that. But this is a coat of many colors, and something as simple as this, when you put it on and wear it and dress it up, you can go out and buy it yourself and bless yourself with it. But there's going to be somebody somewhere lurking that's going to cause this little $10, $12 shirt you got from Family Dollar to get envious and jealous and covet it and want it, like in the situation with Joseph and his other brothers, mad, angry, resentful. and try to take some things out on you. So I know we always hear Joeseph, oh, he got sold off the coat of many colors. He's went from the prison to the palace. But baby, can we redeem the time here a little bit and understand why? There's something you may have that's a blessing and a curse. Maybe your parents left you the will. Maybe your parents left you the house. I was with my mom yesterday. That's why I didn't do the morning read. I drove to my mom and we hung out for a little while. I took her around to run some errands and I came back home. I was absolutely tired. 8 o'clock came because that's my cutoff. If I don't do the morning read by 8 o'clock, if I don't get it done in the morning, I laid on that couch. I looked at the clock. I said, dang, it's 10 o'clock. Get yourself up, girl. I said, but Lord, you know I put effort in. I said, no, never grow weary in well doing. I need a little rest. You said, come unto me who are I had to speak the word back to the Lord. And I said, now I lay me down and sleep. Hello, y'all. All that. I was like, Lord, let my sleep be sweet, baby. And I knocked out, and here we are. I'm going to pull 2 morning reads back to back. And because it's Friday and there's a lot of trending topics on social media. Hey, TC. Today is the day, TC. Today is the day I go live. I don't know if you're subscribed to me. Please, today is the day. I'm dedicating my whole day to YouTube. I got 2 morning reads to do back to back. But after that, the whole Tasha K. Oh man, I want to give my commentary on not on how anybody built their empire and help. No, baby, we look beyond things such as that over here. So anyway, here's another good catch I got before I move on. This same bag right here. So this same black bag, right? This same bag right here. This bag I got, like I said, with the other 2 bags and some other things on the street corner of New York City. I usually go to Fordham Road and just shop, or I'll go over to 3rd Ave or somewhere like that. But I'll stay close to the Bronx. Every now and then I'll go to Queens or the Coliseum. But this scarf right here, baby, came in handy. It is the same exact as the bag. Y'all see that? It is the same exact as the bag. Y'all see that? So I love color. I always put a splash in mostly everything I wear. As you can see, I put this on, right? To give me my coat of many colors, right? But also I have these amazing leggings on that kind of got all the colors of this in it, but it has like lollipops, gumdrops. It got like tongues sticking out, eating candy. They're cute. They're just leggings I threw on. With this multi, it starts off like the blue, the turquoise, and then it goes into a lime green, and it's all one shirt. And I love the sleeves, of course. So yeah, I said let me do some color and play with y'all when it comes to the morning read. But I'm a breeze through this morning read because I'm gonna make some points out as I go along. Joeseph, he ends up in the prison. He gets called out for dreaming, and we know that story. But let's see what happens along the way. Like I said, four women, 12 brothers. One get thrown in the well because of a coat. His dad loved him enough to bless him, and his brothers hated him enough to get rid of him, all because of that same coat. So it's the blessed and cursed coat of many colors. Can we call it that? I got hated coat of many colors, but it really did end up being hated in such a way. Somebody have given you something, adored you for the things you've done in life, and then somebody come along and hate you so much for it, they try to write you out this alleged book of life, or they try to write you out, like I said, the will. the family functions, the gatherings, the baby showers. I could speak from some experience. I never get out here talking like I don't damn know. I've done my research, honey, and when you live certain things, hell, you just live certain things and you could get out here and be real about it. But I'm just saying, and you work hard to get other people, yourself in a better position, but it is what it is. Somebody's going to adore you enough to give you something to cause somebody else to hate you. Can we take that message away from the story today? I don't want to end up in prison. I don't want to end up in Pharaoh's palace at this standpoint. I want my own. That's why I study with God and spend time with him so he give me these messages. And I know y'all visual. It's like, we got 40 reads to do. And then what? I'm still getting on here, pick little stories out, little shorter Bible verses, and do my commentary from life experiences and what I see, little 10, 15-minute videos, morning spurts or whatever, evening relaxations. I don't know what I'll call it at that time, but the morning read, we have 40. After I do the next one today, we're going to have 39. A little over a month. I plan on putting these on CD. I might have to go back and do the whole reading and auto-tune my voice, baby. But then again, I could start a Spotify. I could start I have a Patreon. I could start my own website and I can go to the studio and have people take my voice and just put it on CD and sell it out the back of my damn car, as long as I pay taxes on it. I can do whatever I need and want to do to make this investment go further than where you may think it actually is going on YouTube. For some of y'all think it ain't go nowhere, but no. There's been so much coming out of the morning read that has helped me grow and not walk in doubt and unbelief anymore. All right, TC, I'm going to try. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this up to read y'all comments. Hold on a little something. But yeah, we need to talk about it. Why can't we talk about it? Like I said, there's other points that I was going over in the spirit. I didn't write them down. Talking points are talking points. Most of them come up off the top of your dome when you just let the spirit speak for you. A lot of times when you sit down, I don't know what being scripted is. I never wanted to be an actor. I can't come on there and be impromptu and say what the hell I want to say. I never was my calling. So I sit around and sometimes I think about it, like I thought about bringing the clothes out and showing y'all color and getting you enticed visually. I hope the thumbnail is up. If not, I hope you guys find me. I can't even look upon. What did Jacob say about Leah? What did he? Wait a minute. So y'all don't think I'm lying. Hold on, y'all. What did he tell Laban about his daughter Leah? Go back a couple pages in the Bible from chapter 37. He said something about her. She wasn't easy to look upon. She was the less fair. I'm paraphrasing it and talking from myself. But he said, she's not appealing. Hold on, I gotta go back a little bit more. Wait a minute. Come on, Holy Spirit. Make it make sense. We going back too far. That's Rebecca. We want Leah. And Leah conceived. Leah was tender eyes. But Rachel was beautiful and well favored. What does that say to you? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I got this thing up in the screen. I better not end it. What does that say to you? Genesis chapter 29, verse 17. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. He said delicate or soft. Now I'm translating it. She wasn't eye candy, okay, baby? She was okay to look at. She was about a 4 or 5. I mean, if he had nobody else, he probably would have took her for the number 6. But she'd have never been a 10, a Bathsheba to David in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Or an Esther to King Haman. Or a Ruth to Boaz. Baby. Rachel was Jacob's first love. And as the story progressed, Rachel and Jacob have Benjamin and Joseph. And then the other mothers, 3 mothers, have the other 10 sons. And it says all the sons of Jacob. And he had some more outside of them. Don't forget Ishmael and some other people, okay? He had a wife named Keturah. Was it Jacob or was that Abraham? Abraham had Keturah. I be getting them confused, but Jacob had 4 of his own that I know of. That's the mother of the 12, okay? So move forward. We get into chapter 37. And with that being said, verse 1, let's read. I don't want to hold y'all too long, so I got to come right back and do episode 326. But this is 325. You're watching ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ear stay. And I know y'all like, what's she doing with these little bitty glasses sitting on the end of her pudgy nose? Baby, my sinuses, I don't want nothing sit. My third eye, I told y'all what happened July 4th. I got all kind of sunglasses. Oh, baby, I'm asking God to restore the vision. Like so many of you might have lost your vision. Not only your natural eyesight, but your vision to live in life. You had big dreams and aspirations and goals. And then when you got on YouTube, you got stuck. You got caught up in what you say you would never get caught up in. Because you weren't disciplined enough in your spirit. Somebody has to be, y'all. Somebody has to be. Don't ever let your light be dim. Don't ever let nobody kill your vision. Don't ever let nobody steal your dream, desires, aspirations, goals, online, offline. That's kind of like what the devil did when he entered Atlanta, Georgia. And they all ran into each other because, you know, the devil is legion, honey. It's male and female in these ranks of darkness and rulers and powers that be. Tasha K, Storm Monroe, Von Ray, and then Chelsea City, honey. And I ain't picking on you, Chelsea, but we're going to call you Chelsea City all day today. So y'all get prepared for that video coming up after the second morning read. But let's read Genesis 31, 37, chapter 1. And Jacob dwelled in the land where his father was a stranger. Sound familiar? In the land of Canaan. For us to be strangers, God wanted us there for a reason. And I believe he was trying to prove a point to Isis Ra. I'm just saying, y'all. It came to me in the last read. Spirit said to me, shout out to my girl. I gotta go here, y'all. Gotta go here. Madam So-So. I believe I'm subscribed and I watch her videos from time to time. But she did a video a year or so ago now, maybe 2. And she was saying in that video how Israel, the word Israel, When God told Jacob here in Genesis, when the angel they was fighting, you no longer going to be called Jacob but Israel. And then he names the land after Israel, the man Jacob, right? And his 12 sons, the father thereof, Abraham's grandson, right? So not this morning read, but the morning read prior to this, 224, which was not done like yet. It was done the day before yesterday, I believe. A revelation came to me like, oh, okay, like I said, I never disrespect anybody's faith, what you believe. I actually find it interesting, but it's just what I choose not to believe. There's some truth in the Egyptians who are the descendants of Noah. Gotta give them credit for that. And probably even prior to that, there's some truth with the Israelites. You gotta stop denying that we exist, such as young Pharaoh and other people around the world, and give us credit for that, okay? And then you have imposters going around telling a story that don't even belong to them, could never fit the script or their origination or originality. And for people to be on YouTube and always want original content, hell, I want people to admit they're not the original people. That's all the damn content I need. Anyway, Israel, listen. She said in her video, y'all, ISIS, Dru L. I used to say, you know what? She said in that video, hear me out, TC, hear me out, y'all. And like I said, it made sense to me. I was like, oh, well, and I would have questions with God, is it true? Why, and this was going on for a couple of years. And Revelation came to me about 2 days ago now. She said a couple years back, she was going in on Christianity and pointing out how it mimics, Isis, Ra, Horus, or Osiris. And I'm like, I could see that because I'm telling y'all, Christianity got some issue with it. And Paul talk about do away with the circumcision and the law. That's not of God of this Jacob and Abraham and Isaac. So how do they have the blessing, the birthright, and every damn thing else in church? So I watch her. I told you. I'll listen to a Buddha because they got some insights. I'll listen to a Hindu, but that don't mean I worship them. That don't mean I ride hard with them. I take bits and pieces for my own personal. But I know we're the children of Israel. God says, study to show yourself approved. When I look around the world, it all leads me back to this God right here. Nobody wanted to be a Christian in the East. So they started calling them other stuff and other gods, and Indians over here, which were all Indians, the 12 tribes. The ones over here before Columbus, they got their, we had that too in the East. But for some reason, Leah and Jacob's son Judah, whom the lion of the tribe sprang out of, was made to forget the most. So people say, F your Christianity, I'd rather be a Buddhist. I'm living in minor Asia. I'm over here. I'm over here in Australia. I'll be the Aboriginals. I'm over here in Hawaii. And let me tell you, the open enemy realized where everybody was and who people was and went to their land and destroyed it. Have they not? But nobody wanted to be a Christian. They said, wait, we got to do something. So there's a story that they brought most of us over here to America and put us in slavery to get us to be. But even prior to that, they was forcing people in the East. Or you got burnt at the stake like a witch or something, and a red X or cross put on your back and sold into slavery. Your kids ripped up from you way before you even got over here in America. It's called the island of St. Thomas. It's right outside of Africa. Do your research. Some of the tribe of Judah was living in Spain and Portugal, and Ferdinand said, this the tribe of Judah. You either give me your land, give me your kids, give me this, that, and the third. I'm going to destroy you, or you're going to worship our Jesus. So anyway, the land of Canaan, back to the whole Madam So-So. Listen, she said the name of Israel come from Isis, Ra, and everybody know El is Elohim, referring to God. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's what Israel mean. I can see that. But why would God put Isis and Ra over Israel? Oh, and I could never figure it out for 2 years. Now hear me out, y'all. I don't know what spirit says to y'all, but when I'm trying to get things answered, it'll come to me eventually. I just gotta stick with it. Don't give up on what you believe or what you ask in the universe to show you or give you back, or asking God to reveal to you. That's the normal terminology in religion, or faith or believing. Revelation. So I was sitting there and I was doing the morning read. That's how I know it's in the morning read. And it's the last one I did. And I was reading something about probably Jacob having his name changed to Israel. And I was like, yeah, I remember someone was saying, basically, I might have mentioned Madam So-So, fame versus sacrifice, her name in that video then. But I said, I remember somebody was like, it means the gods of Egypt's name plus God. And I was like, Israel. Okay, I see the two gods of Egypt there, but God is at the end and he's Elohim. So he's probably, this is what I said. I said he probably mocking Ra and Isis by taking their name, creating a word called Isra, God over Isis and Ra, but attaching it to the children of Israel, like some would say Nimrod, having walked with Abraham and some of our descendants, because we're relatives, took and went out in the lands and started building up. And remember, we were in slavery down in Pharaoh's camp in Egypt. Did we not build up? I'm talking to Hebrew Israelites now. I'm talking to y'all now. Did we not build up? Because they'll say Egypt built up, just like America. God says it's the same house of bondage. America is another Egypt. All right, follow me, y'all. I'm only on chapter 37, verse 1. We haven't even got into the story of him being hated for his coat. But you need to know the backdrop, y'all. They should have told the story right. When Moses was fighting Pharaoh down in Egypt, did he not call upon the God Ra? He didn't call on Moses' God. So there is a God named Ra. He also called on some sorcerers too, because obviously his God Ra couldn't do what Moses' God Yahweh was doing. The sorcerers had to come and turn the water into blood and the staff into the snake and all that. It wasn't Egypt's God, y'all. Just want to put you up on spirit with that, okay? Go back and read the story for yourself. So anyway, you got the children of Israel being in captivity, and people say, oh, Egypt built up everything. But I remember my ancestors, the people of Old Covenant, was in captivity. If anybody built up anything during that period, you better believe, just like over here in America, it was us. No matter how you look at it, we've been in captivity to our relatives. Egypt on one hand, and then the Edomites. Ain't he the alleged twin brother of Jacob? Baby. Really? If I knew your family history very well, make you forget it, I could write myself in it and tell your mama and daddy left me the inheritance. You probably will wake up from the delusion Paul said in his Bible, who bewitched you, and believe it. Okay, like the world is doing now, and refuse not to challenge what they've been told and taught. Listen, Canaan is. I want to finish this. Israel. I said in that video the other day, and I'm gonna get into the morning read. I said, God, are you playing a joke on the God of Egypt, like mocking them? Because this Bible said, be not deceived, God shall not be mocked. But he brought me back to when he had war with Ra. And they've been at war probably ever since. That's why the Hotep, Maya, Ashe, Namaste can't really get with Shalom, and we be brothers or relatives as is on one accord for the greater good because of all this religion. That's why you've all been religion winked. You've all been religion winked. You want to know what that means? I don't know. There's a couple videos explaining it. But anyway, they can't come together because of Paul and the Europeans getting their hands on everybody's story, trying to merge it in this Bible and tell you it's all of God, when we know Nimrod was around in this Bible longer than any other Egyptian, even the Queen of Heaven. She come in after Nimrod when you read the story, right? But he's the furthest back, and I know there's more than Nimrod, but he definitely is an Egyptian. Definitely brought war against God in the kingdom of heaven. Definitely been bringing war against the children of Israel. Definitely God and Ra had beef when he sent Moses down there to say, let my people go. Read the story. Ra showed up, but they also called the sorcerers. So you have Jacob, you have Isis, Ra, El, God of Isis and Ra. And I'm going to name my city Israel. And I'm going to name this man right here, Jacob Israel. And I'm going to name his 12 sons the seed of Israel. And I'm going to give him the land of Canaan, which I promised to his forefathers. And this is why we're fighting Egypt for the land of Canaan. They think because Ham has a grandson or a son named Canaan, put Mizrahim, or you know the lineage that the land, and they probably do. But I don't know what deal God and Ra had out, but God said the land of Canaan gonna belong to these people right here. And we've been fighting and going back and forth in this Bible for the land of Canaan for a very long time. Is it making sense to y'all? The Hatfields and the McCoys is based off of y'all, the Egyptians and the Israelites. I mean, y'all been doing it longer than they have. Anyway, Canaan. And I said in that video, God, are you mocking Isis and Ra and Egypt? What's going on here? How do you take first of all, are you the God of Egypt? Then my spirit said, I fought against Egypt. How would I be Egypt's God unless Egypt rejected me and chose Ra and became my enemy? I said, okay, God, let's have this conversation now. Let's talk about it, okay? I said, so he said, you know that children's movie you like? I said, I love The Prince of Egypt. Yep, the whole story about is it Moses or Joeseph? I don't know. They both had an opportunity to reign down there. But it was Moses. That God used to go fight in Egypt against the God of Ra and Pharaoh and the sorcerers. That's biblical. He said, you remember that movie? He said, I was fighting against Ra. I showed Ra in that movie I could take Pharaoh's firstborn son. I could send all these plagues. He had to go out and get sorcerers like Paul who can delusionalize the people, who can do a little witchcraft and a little magic or whatever and conjure up stuff and mimic me. Can I have a little bit of fun? I said, hell yeah, because that's all we do over here. Have fun. We don't mock nobody's religion. We ain't on it with degrading y'all. Listen, I'm pointing out points for all of us. Why is Israel broken down if it is for Isis, Ra, and Elohim? And why don't the Egyptians hell there if God is the God of the Egyptians? And that's why he gave Israel that name. Let's be adults here spiritually and think about it. Now, is it possible God said, okay, you want to keep messing with me, Egypt? You want to keep working with the Europeans and deceiving me and selling my people into slavery and just turning people out, and you going to help them when it comes to this alleged Atlantic trade slave? Okay. All right. This is what I'm going to do. And of course, all this happened before the trade slave and all that. But there was a lot of stuff Nimrod and people were doing of Egypt and other accounts of this story that they refused to acknowledge belong a part of the Bible. So you got Nimrod doing all kinds of things against God at this point in time and just causing all kind of chaos in the land, trying to build towers and all that. So God basically said, you know what? I'm gonna make a land since you don't want to give me Canaan. And Canaan, I don't know, is it over there near Israel somewhere? It might be a land close by to it or whatever. But he like, all right, I'm gonna call this place Isis, Ra, and God of all, Elohim. And I believe he's clever like that. He got. For the love of God, he would have somebody come up with the word serpent to cause the Christians to go into sin. In the same word, mixed up and changed around, means repent with an S. If he's that crafty, I mean, come on. He can come up with a name mocking other gods, because they've been out here mocking God for a pretty long time, even in the New Testament. Boy, is he mocked over there. So is it possible that God should be the God of Egypt? Hence the name Israel and Jacob. Was Egypt present when God changed Jacob's name to Israel? Or was he doing it to be funny? Because I've seen a lot of other instances where God did some very strange things in his Bible, and some of it was hilarious. So you guys let me know, what does Israel really stand for? The name. For God to give it to Jacob and a geographical location, and the children of Israel come out of it and not the Egyptians. That may help some of y'all in y'all spiritual warfare with the Bibles and other books and historical debates y'all be having. So share this video, let people know that there is definitely some wisdom they can use over here when it comes to. They always want to say who's the best doctrine and who came first. Hell, I told you, we all exist, okay? That's all that matters. Regardless of who got here first, last, in between, you exist. Make the best of it. So, Canaan, Israel, God, Ra, Isis, Osiris, Horus, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, the Madonna, Mother Mary, Jesus. They say, that I'm not getting into that. That could be proven. It very well can be, but that's not why I'm here. Why did God change Jacob's name to Israel and we bear it today? But we don't deal with Ra and Isis. And they don't deal with Israel. Can somebody make it make sense? Before you answer and go off in the comments, think about it. Was God mocking another God? Making fun of those gods? Hell, if he beat them down in Israel, in Egypt, that was just like one more thing he did in that war between Ra and Yahweh. It's possible, y'all. With God, all things are possible, and don't you forget that. Verse 2 says, these are the generations of Jacob. Joeseph, being 17 years old, was feeding a flock with his brethren. Okay. And the lad, and the lad was the son of Bilhah. And he was hanging with the lads of Bilhah, because he's Rachel and Jacob's son. And with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joeseph brought unto his father their evil report. This is what set it all off, y'all. It ain't even about being hated for the coat of the many colors and all that stuff. Nope. It's about Joeseph being a young lad, and whatever evil report his brothers of the other mothers was doing, baby, he ran back and told. Three says, now Israel. We're going to hear Israel a lot, y'all. Why would God take Isis, Ra, L, if that's what some Egyptians and some people who believe in the ancestors and some people, who believe in Isis and Ra and Osiris and Horus and Seth and, not Seth, but what's his name? Hep? I forget the one. Come on, y'all. But, yeah, they believe in that, and that's what they believe. Why is Israel broken down? Why would they be teaching this but have no affiliation? So it's got to be something there. And the God I serve, oh, hell, you better believe he's just not sitting up there, right? He's at war with other gods. And he's steady trying to prove a point and let them know, like, look, I am that God. Moses come up on the damn mount several times. Each damn time, it's 3,000 of y'all out there being perverted. Golden calves, Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, everybody. Like, I'm sick of it once and for all. I'm going to put my stamp and approval. I don't know, y'all. It's a war, and that could be a part of the war. So now, 3 says, Israel loved Joseph. He's more than all his children, and he had a lot of them at this point. He has daughters as well, at least one named Dinah we talked about in the last read. But basically, they focus on the 12 brothers, because that's who the blessing, that's who Jacob saw fits. And it was a traditionary thing, a custom for the men or the brothers to get the blessing. And then if there was no men, the daughters. That's why Lot's daughters slept with him, because he had no sons. They're like, oh, hell, we got to carry on the inheritance. They got him drunk and slept with him. Was it Lot? Was it Lot? Who was it, y'all? So anyway, it's in one of the morning reads. Check it out. So now it says Joseph loved Jacob, Israel loved Joseph in verse 3. because he was the son of his old age. And as I started out, like, when you can't have no children anymore and that last child come, you may treat them a little bit special because you know you're not bearing any more seed through your loins or your groin or whatever, right? And so you may go out a little bit. It's the last child, it's the baby. But like I said, I'm not really sure if it's Joseph or Benjamin, but I know Joseph and Benjamin are probably two of the last children of Jacob to be born. And he could very well be the youngest. If not him, it's Benjamin. So then it goes on to say, basically, in verse 3, like, he's of old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. Because I'm of old age, I'm going to make this child Joseph, who I love, a coat of many colors. Joseph then told on his brothers. Are you following me? His father loved him, even though he a tattleteller, right? And he gets a coat of many colors because his dad is of old age and probably can't have any more kids on, at the age where he may be on his deathbed or whatever. And what else? Probably walking around flaunting it in everybody's face. So, verse 4 says, and when his brethren, that's collectively his brothers, saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. They had nothing nice to say to Joseph. Have you ever been in this situation? Have you ever put anybody in this situation? Have you ever been a tattletale? Let's start there. Has anybody loved you enough to bless you with something that caused somebody else to hate you at the same time, being a blessing and a curse to you? That is the object that brought about the emotions, right? So now, let's go here. They have nothing nice to say about him. They got something to say about him, but it's not peace. 5 says, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told his brethren, and they hated him for that even more. So not only are you a tattleteller, not only does dad love you more than us, not only do you get to flaunt it around and whatever, now you having dreams. Who are you, little boy? Who are you, right? So they go on to say, basically in 6, and he said unto them, here I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. Y'all need to hear this. So 7, for behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. We were out there gathering sheaves. And lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. My light started to shine. I started to grow into my manhood. I started to become a man. I started to get noticed in the neighborhood. People see my coat of many colors. People know I can dream visions and I have a little spirituality going on. Listen to what he's saying. And also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obedience to my sheaf. Had to bow down and obey me. Had to respect me. 5, and his brother said unto him, shalt thou indeed reign over us? I know what I'm talking about, y'all. Let those that have ears hear what thus saith the Lord. Come on, get out your feelings when you read this Bible, please. Although I be in minds, I'm a Libra. I know how to balance the two. I know how to balance the two, y'all. So anyway, It goes on to say, he said, what, we got to obey you? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And it just gets worse from here. So listen. And he dreamed yet another dream in verse 9 and told his brethren and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obedience to me. 11 stars. He's a star himself. So he don't need 12. He need the other 11 brothers, okay? So he goes on to say, and they obeyed me, right? 10, and he told it to his father and said to his father, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I, thy mother, and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee in the earth? Absolutely. There's going to be a famine. First of all, my brother's going to get so jealous of me, they're going to throw me in a pit, take my coat of many colors, destroy it, make you think I'm dead. Some other sojourners and pilgrimers going to come through the land, hear me, see me, pick me up, and take me down into Egypt. On the way, I'm telling them some dreams. So I'm earning my keep in the land. By the time I get to Egypt, somebody lie on me. Some people would say karma is a bee, right? Some people lied on me. I end up in prison. There I dream some more, have more visions. It gets wind of the king of the land, Pharaoh, the ruler. He brings me from the prison to the palace. And by the time I earn my stead keep there, y'all coming down to bow down to me. Dad, you, all of y'all. And that's basically the story of Jacob. So, Joseph, Jacob, like, I'm not trying to hear that. Me and your mother gonna bow down? Oh, absolutely. 11, and his brothers envied him, but his father observed the saying, paid attention to it, like you and I are. 12, and his brethren went to feed their flocks in Shechem. Shechem is the dude's name who fell in love with Jacob's daughter Dinah, remember? 13, and Israel said unto Joeseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said unto him, here I am. He said unto him, here I am. He says, here I am, okay? So now, 14 says, and he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it will be with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he went out unto him unto the vale of Hebron, and he came unto Shechem. 15. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the fields. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? What are you looking for? Translating, right? 16, and he said, I seek my brethren, tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. Just let me know. Give me a heads up. 17, and the man said, they are departed hence, for I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joeseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. Now, he should have just left well enough alone and stayed his little wandering butt home. 18, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him, to kill his brother, y'all. Can you imagine? Over a coat, because your parents love you a little bit more than somebody else, they hate you and want to slay you? And you got to remember, the brothers have the same father. 6 of them have Leah, one mother. 2 of them have Zilpah, the handmaid of Leah. Rachel had 2, Joseph and Benjamin, and her handmaid Bilhah had 2. I think Dan and Naphtali. I'm not quite sure which 2 her and the other handmaids had, but 3 of them had 2 apiece, and one of them had 6. Go read your Bible; it's there. They all don't have the same mother. Even the ones that do, all got against Joseph. It's a blessing and a curse to have somebody love you so much that they give you something that makes somebody else hate you. That's generally your gift and your talents and your light that's shining, your ability to lead, take persecution, have people want to slay you, throw you in prison for no reason. And you still grow into your own manhood like Joeseph, into your own womanhood like me, and many other people who suffered at the hand of family. Did Joeseph hold a grudge? He rubbed it in their face a little bit, like I've been telling you I've been doing with my family since October. I might give it, I told my mother, another, maybe a full year. Because when they do it to you for a lifetime, it's like you got to take it. You're the baby of the bunch. You got to respect your elders. You got to, no, 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 no. They may have more money. No, we're human beings. You ain't no better than me, and I know better than you. But some people will hate you because of the gift you've been given. Whether it come from God, your father, whoever. I explained all that in the beginning of this video. Spouse, loved one, children. It could be a blessing and it could be a curse. How are you dealing with it? Well, baby, you got people that hate you for it and they want to slay you according to Joseph's brothers. All right, we just gonna say brothers. Y'all know how that go. I feel if you got the same mother, y'all brothers and sisters. Father, y'all have brothers, have sisters. But if all the seed come from the same mother, I don't know. I think y'all more relatives than, I don't know. If you come from another woman, but we got the same father, I'd rather my siblings come from the same mother. I don't know. And even if they don't, you're still my brothers and sisters. But I just believe the woman, whether she have different baby daddies, all the children is coming through the mother, so they're brothers and sisters. If you got 10 different women and they all coming through the father, the only ones that's really brothers and sisters, the ones he had with Bilhah, those 2 are brothers and sisters because they got the same mother and father. Rachel got 2, same mother and father. Zilpah got 2, same mother and father. Leah got 6, same mother and father. Now that way they're brothers and sisters. But when it come to Leah children being relatives and brothers with Zilpah, yeah, they got the same father. So they're half to me. Same thing with Zilpah to Bilhah. Different mothers, same father. Same thing with Bilhah, to Rachel. They just got the same father. Those 4 different groups. So they want to slew him. They want to kill him, y'all. It basically says right here, they conspired to slay him in 18. 19 says, and they said one to another, behold, this dreamer cometh. They're jealous because he can dream. I mean, there's so many things about you. People are just going to hate you for no reason. How are you letting it affect you? I'm telling you, we're going to learn a lot from Joeseph. A lot. And thank God he survived to tell about it, okay? Because if he didn't, we'd have never heard this story. Baby, it wouldn't be no lesson for us to learn. Somebody in the Bible would have got away with murder. But thank God they left this story in the Bible because it's a lot we can take from it. Not just going from the prison to the palace. There's steps and a process to get there. And I'm sure he was angry along the way, but he didn't let that blind sight or hinder him from his ultimate goal, because I'm sure he had goals along the way. That was to survive. That was to stay out of dodge from those who wanted to kill him or someday make it back home. But when he found out, woke up and realized he's down in Egypt, he made the best of it in a foreign land. He didn't let nobody deter him from his dreams. He didn't allow the lies to hinder him from showing even Pharaoh a vision. In order for his real enemy to bless him. Pharaoh didn't know it at the time, but Joseph knew the Egyptians didn't like the Israelites. Actually hated one another along in that time for the most part. So, and Moses will come along eventually, and God said, you know what? You better not marry that Egyptian woman Zipporah. But he did it anyway. 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. Dream killers, not only catchers, but killers, even unto this day. And unfortunately, it could be family, it could be friends, it could be your boss. People will hire you and set you up for you have so much hope and faith you can go far in that country. And then when they see your progress and see God opening doors that no man have ever opened before, and your light shining, here come the attacks, here come the lies, here come the being fired, here come getting rid of her, here come them writing you off the schedule, giving you the less hours. Come on, anybody out there can relate to this? Thank God I can. Because there's nothing new under the sun. Y'all act like y'all never been through anything but say, oh, I'm the people of the Bible. We are afflicted. There's real persecution. There's a real enemy of this land for the sake of your inheritance and what you had originally before Christianity. Now, and God ain't going to always, or your parents ain't going to always give everybody the same gift or in the abundance thereof. And when people see the slightest variation or the slightest change, or yours is a little better or a little different or a little more recognizable, and maybe not, it's a problem. They might have could have had dreamed as well if they wasn't so worried about Joseph dreaming. You see how that go? They wasn't tuned in to the spirit like Joseph was. They're too busy out here trying to hate on people because other people can. And those are the people who miss their real calling. They might have had some other gift or talent God was trying to draw out of them. Well, we know Judah signifies praise. We know Reuben slept with his dad's, with Bilhah, with one of the handmaids. We just know they had a life like you and I. These people weren't perfect. And if so, they started off perfect with God, like so many people who go to church or join some cult or ministry or something, and then all of a sudden acting like the devil. Like, always falling short of the glory of God and missing the mark and listening to the wrong voice and not choosing to read the Bible for yourselves. And it's a whole lot that go along with that, okay? So they're jealous of the dreamer. They're jealous of the person who reads the Bible. They're jealous of the person who does have that consistent church life. They're jealous of the person who can run on the treadmill every day. They're jealous of the person who could drink 55 gallons. This you find every little reason. Start dreaming, people. 20 says, "Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we'll say, some evil beast has devoured him. And we shall see what shall become of his dreams." Why? What do they have to do with you other than the fact that he told you, y'all going to serve me one day? Y'all don't understand it now, but one day my sheaves gonna grow, be upright, and yours gonna have to bow down and obey it. Even his father Jacob told him, "What? Me and your mama gonna have to bow down too?" Get prepared for the famine, okay? Before the blessing, sometimes there's a famine. There's the storm before the calm, but there's a famine coming. And you may have to go back to the one you tried to kill. Unbeknownst to Jacob, remember, Jacob not really sure if his son dead or alive, but going on what the brothers told him, nobody expects to run into Joseph when the famine comes. Being in charge of all things, merchandise, goods, product, corn, wheat, barley, wine, water, all that is in Egypt. Go figure. It's in Egypt. Now listen. Remember, Israel, Isis, Ra, Elohim. But it's all down in Egypt right now. And there's a famine. And you got to go through Pharaoh to get fed, okay? That's a sermon for somebody. You got to go through Pharaoh to get fed, honey. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, it was actually Joseph. You got to go through Joseph to get fed. Pharaoh had him in charge of the process, but it was actually Joseph giving out. And when his brothers came, he knew who they were. And you know who your family is. And Joseph could have said, "The hell with them." But instead, he rubbed it in their face a little bit. And the story goes on to say he pretty much gave them some mercy and grace, reconnected with his family. But you don't always got to be the one to go run your family down, be the one to. I did that for years, and it still gets you to where they think they're entitled to want to kill you any way they can. And like I said, thank God, my family and friends and all of that have tried it, and work co-workers and bosses, they didn't probably really want me dead like these brothers wanted Joseph dead. They don't want you to succeed in this day and age. They don't want to see you prevail, be promoted, have your name ringing in the streets, or people noticing you for your good deeds or your contribution to life, right? So 21 says, "And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him." And the whole family ain't gonna want to kill you. There's gonna be one or two that say, "Oh, she's a good person. Oh, he's a good person. Oh, I like auntie, or I like uncle, or I like brother, or I like sister, or I like mom or dad, or whoever you may be to the people," right? And basically, genuinely like you, not the whole family or camp or tribe or internet or platform is going to be against you. It's going to be one or two. But like I gotta tell my beautiful granddaughter, when you go to school, you need the teacher's education and guidance, your behavior and but to be there and determination to do the work. You really don't need friends to graduate, but it's nice to have some along the way. It really is. But you gotta be mindful nowadays. I told y'all, they became friends with Von Ray, and he became friends with them. And sometimes it don't always work out. 22, and Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast them into the pit. Now, Reuben is the oldest, I do believe. Into the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid himself of that out of their heads, to deliver him to his father again. Like, we don't really want to kill him. We want him to come back home. But don't lay no hands on him. Don't destroy him. Don't dismantle him, because I do probably want him to come back home to his father. And it goes on in 23. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. What has been on you? The anointing of God, the Spirit of God, the joy of God, the power of God, the love of God, the mercy, the grace, the favor. What have you let somebody strip you of? This coat can be many things, y'all. Many things. 24, and they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. There was no water in the pit, y'all. There was no food. There was no utilities to relieve himself. There was nobody else. There was no telephones, no cell phone, no social media, no YouTube, no Facebook, no Twitter. There was no mainstream media. It was just a 17-year-old boy in a pit. So, 25, and they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites, Abraham's first son, descendants. And I just thought it was a bunch of people. I never knew it was Ishmaelites. Come and find Joseph. Abraham's, Isaac, Jacob, great-grandson, great-great-grandson. All right, if I'm Joseph, my dad is Jacob. His dad is Isaac, so that's my grandfather. Abraham is my great-great-great-great-grandfather. And the Ishmaelites is the son of Abraham. So now the Ishmaelites is running into Joseph, the Israelite. And they came from Gilead, and with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. Again, that's where everybody was trading and selling and doing whatever because of this famine in the land. 26, and Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Thank God for Judah, right? The Bible says God hate anybody that sheds any innocent blood and have their hands on blood on their hands. And you can't really hate somebody so much over a blessing they get to the point where you want to see them dead. To me, that's of the devil. I just have to say it. 26, and Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother? What is that going to do? Reuben said we're going to think about it for the rest of our lives, and he ain't going to be able to return to his father. 27, Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. What if you sell him to the Ishmaelites and they kill him? So now the blood is on their hands. I will still hold you guilty and accountable for it. 27. Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh, and his brethren were content. 28. Then there passed the Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joeseph out of the pit, and sold Joeseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Really? And they brought Joeseph into Egypt. Judas did it for 30 pieces of shekel, 30 pieces of silver. So, and they brought Joeseph into Egypt. 29. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joeseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And this is where the depression and feeling guilty and having, I don't know, maybe remorse, a little resentment, repression, digression, suppression. I don't know. But I know they need intervention, because this is where it all sets in. They go back to the pit and their brother ain't there. They had ideas of selling him to the Ishmaelites, but the other merchants showed up and he was sold off to the same Ishmaelites. Who we know not only hung out in Egypt a little, but I believe Ishmael to be Saudi Arabia for the most part. For the most part. For the most part. Anyway, it goes on to say in verse 30, and he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and I whither shall I go? Crazy. Your father Jacob. I don't know how he gonna respond to it, but I know how I would. You want to throw somebody in the pit? "31. And they took Joseph's coat and killed the kid of the goat and dipped the coat in the blood." Just sick, right? The extremes people will go to discredit you and to make you disappear in the minds of other people. Like they did with the Israelites. In the mind of the world, Lot and the Ishmaelites and some other people got together to make y'all forget who we were. So it goes on to say, they put blood on the coat, y'all. 32. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it go. Now see, people just want to say, oh, Rahab lied. I've been showing y'all where Paul lied. Other people have lied. Honestly, our ancestors lied as well. Came up with schemes, turned on family, walked in jealousy and hatred. So, and they went to Jacob and said, we found this. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. They know who coat it is, right? 33. And people know, but they'll play in your face. They'll make you look like a fool. They'll do the best they can to make you look like you're crazy or you did nothing wrong, while they're absolutely doing everything wrong. Kind of like what's going on in America today. So, 33 says, and he knew it and said, it is my son's coat, and evil beasts have devoured him. Joeseph is without doubt rent in pieces. If his coat looked like this and there's blood on it, oh my God, he is gone. So immediately Jacob think he's no longer with us. It's hard to grieve, but eventually he probably went on living his life without Joseph. He doesn't become a thing of the past, but my child is no longer here. Now I have to find someone else to love. You think you're going to love one of these brothers? Now I have to find someone else to give another coat of many colors to. You think you're going to give it to one of these brothers? I sure wouldn't. They got to do all this to get my love and my attention. They don't need it. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. I'm sorry, children or not. Don't do this to garnish your mother or father's attention. Don't hate your family members because somebody gets a gift. Where you probably have one too. You just don't like your gift or like your calling or like your talents or like the way you look or like your body or like the way you sound and generally these are the people out here putting other people down because of the way they look, sound, live, walk, dress, so on and so forth. So 33 says, I knew it. He got to be gone. And Jacob rent his clothes in 34 and put sackcloth on upon his loins and mourned for the son many days. People grieve differently. It took him many days. But again, his son is not dead, so why even put your father through the grieving process? 35. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted and said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son's mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Unnecessarily, it should not have went down like this, y'all, but it did. So we learn of it, right? 36, in the last verse of 37, and the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. And it's going to go into the story that Potiphar's wife accused him of some kind of sexual advances or something of that nature. And this is how Potiphar is going to perceive it, believe it, throw him in prison. Only for Joseph to dream it. And with that being said, let's go into 38, verse 1. Let's read. Come on, let's read. All right. And it came to pass at that time, right, that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Aldulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shuha. Now, what is it with the Israelites and the Canaanites? Does anybody know? They want to be with one another. You can't keep them separate. What is that? Not to mention, everybody was told to keep their bloodline pure at one point in time, I do believe. And now we have what we have in the world, but they desired one another. The people of Canaan desired the Israelites, and Israelites desired Canaan. And believe you me, to this day, people still war over that land. So, there was a certain daughter of Canaanite whose name was Shua, and he took her and went into her. And she conceived and bare a son and called his name So prior to prior to Perez, Judah's first son of the 12 tribes, Judah's first son is Er. 4. And she conceived again and bare a son and called his name of Onan. So he's the second. 5. And she yet again conceived and bare a son and called his name Shelah. And he was as Shezib when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And this where it get a little etchy now, because Tamar and Judah have a son named Perez. I didn't tell you that. So you thought it was by Shua. He got his daddy genes. He had more than one woman bear these children that the tribe of Judah sprang out of, honey. It was a whole bunch of conceiving and bearing children and all that. But we finally get to where, listen to what it says. And Judah took a wife for his son, whose name was Tamar. And Judah took a wife for his son. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. Was useless to God. Judah's firstborn son. Probably was trying to sleep around with everybody, doing all kinds of stuff in the flesh. God took him, but left Tamar, his son's wife. Judah take Tamar for himself. And this is where they have a son named Perez. And this Judah, Tamar, have a son named Perez. Perez have children that bring forth the children of the Davids, the Jessies, the Obeds, the Salmons, the Nations, that just brings forth the tribe of the Lion of Judah. So, even though there's 12 brothers, there's one brother who had a night with Tamar. They have a son. Let's read. So, 8. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he had went into his brother's wife, that he had spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brothers. So he didn't ejaculate inside of her. He let it fall on the ground. He did what his father said do, which is go into Tamar to try to have children. But he let it fall on the ground, the Bible is saying here, because he didn't want to be known for having a child with his brother's widow. Because is gone. Now Tamar is still available. He did sleep with her, but he didn't want to have children with her, is what it's saying. So, 10 says, and the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. So this is God doing the slaying and saying here, not Judah, the father. This is God slaying and slewing. So now listen. The hated coat of many colors, right? Ooh, brought about a lot of stuff. So anyway, God is displeased, and he slew him also. 11, then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in thy father's house till Shelah, my son, be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now, I still believe that Judah somehow is the father of Perez. 12 says, in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up into his sheep shearers to Timnath, and he and his friends Hira, the Adulamite. 13. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath. Baby, I'm trying to tell you they getting together. What's she gonna go up to Timnath for? To comfort Judah. Listen, and to shear his sheep. Your father-in-law's up there shearing his. That ain't all that's about to be trimmed, okay? That's not all that's about to be trimmed, okay? 14, and she put her widow's garments off from her. You know when you moping and depressed and because her husband died because he was evil. Her first husband, Er. The second one she slept with in the family died because he didn't want to have no baby with her. Now she working on the father-in-law. So she took off her widow's garments, okay, and covered. She took off her Walmart lingerie and put on Victoria's Secret. And she covered her with a veil. She wrapped herself up in verse 14 and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath, okay, for her to be noticed. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. Oh, so she want to entice the son first. So listen, 15. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot. And I was gonna say that. I was like the heir. I was like the second son, Onan. I was like, now she trying to make it to Timnath. Is she the woman at the well who the Messiah said, you've been with 5 men and I know the one you with now is not your husband? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, Father God. So anyway, he said she's a harlot because she had covered her face. Okay. Shameful. Don't nobody want you to see who's sneaking up in the Timnath, huh? It was the harlots creeping in back in the day, right? All right. Y'all would say that about Ruth, but Naomi told Ruth how to go get Boaz and exactly what to do. If you don't know, watch that video. The blessing of Boaz is in the leftovers, okay? So, yeah, now, basically, here we go. 15. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a harlot because she had covered her face. 16. And he turned unto her by the way and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. But didn't you pick her for your son Er? Didn't you tell Onan? Oh, that was God who told her to go sleep. Onan to go sleep with her. So Judah's now saying he didn't know what she looked like. And I'm sure when you dial up and adorn yourself and, put on the smell goods and the new look, sometimes it's hard for people to know it's you, right? And you can get away with stuff like this. You can go to Timnath and people not recognize you as Tamar, right? Or Tamar, right? Especially Judah. Oh, because remember, her face was covered, right? I'm trying to tell you, men, stop sleeping with women that cover up their face. You don't know what's lying underneath all that hidden messages and stuff. Just don't do it. And I'm not coming against makeup or anything like that, but there's some people that really cover themselves up and they're not transparent. That's all I'm saying. So here it goes on to say, boom. He want to sleep with her now. He don't really know that she's the daughter-in-law. And she said, wait, wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? Are you really going to come? Seriously? I done had both brothers, now the dad. Really? You're not going to give me no more sons? Can I have them after I have you too? I don't know what kind of conversation they had, but she's like, "You seriously? All right. Why she ain't say I'm Eric's wife? What the heck is you talking about? I'm Onan's could have been baby mama. She ain't say none of that. She know who Judah is, I bet. And he talking about he don't know who she is. Okay. Y'all keep using them lame excuses. Now, 17, and he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? Will you give me credentials? Will you give me a shout out? Would you give me some clout? Would you give me some recognition? Would you give me something to hold me over until then? Besides you wanting to go into me, can I get something other than that? They making a deal here, y'all. 18, and he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff, that is of thine hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And y'all don't want to blame nothing on this Bible. Y'all know there's nothing new under the sun. Just like this woman took gifts of her goodies and her cooking. People are doing it today. But they going around saying the going price is like $150 on Skip the Games. Honey, we got a whole lot of commentary to get through today. So let me get through these morning reads. I got one more chapter to do here. And then we got a break. And then we got another morning read to do, a break. And then we're going to come live and do the meet now. We're going to be dropping all kind of links and telephone numbers for y'all to call in and talk about 2-3 of the hottest trending topics on YouTube and social media. But it involves a lot of people in each subject we talk about. So she's getting her goodies. She's getting her pledges. And you what? Why is it every time a woman date a man, you want to wear his t-shirt, or you want to wear his jewelry, or you want to wear his jacket, or his smell scent? I would the Bible. They was doing it way before you. Okay? So 19. Now, which son did she conceive? They didn't call his name here, y'all. I'm almost certain this is Perez. So when we say the children of Israel, we think Jacob and 4 women. When we think King David, Boaz, and we hear the Lion of the tribe of Judah, you got to begin to think Judah and Tamar and their son Perez. They had other sons. 2 of them are dead. They have a son, Shalu. He's a little younger, I guess, or whatever, but they're not the lineage of the tribe of Judah. Do you understand me? Judah is. They're not the lion who sprang out of Judah. Judah's a part of that with Tamar having a son named Perez. But the other brothers aren't a part of. The lion can only come out of one brother, one seed. That's all I want y'all to understand. Yes, there's 12 brothers, but there's only one who brought forth the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And this Judah, of course. And him sleeping with his first son's wife, who been passed down 2 times in the family. Now she's with the father Judah, one of the 12 tribes. So now Tamar and Judah, okay? So Judah, listen. So, and she arose and went away and laid by her veil and laid by her veil from her and put on the garments of her widowhood. Why go back to who you used to be? Why can't you just be who you are? Why you gotta pretend to be something other than you really not? I can go on and on and on with these stories in the Bible. Y'all want to have conversations? I told you there's a lot of tea in this Bible we can learn from. We can sip on first of all and learn of. And I told you anything we sip on over here is not going to drown us. We're not going to get drunk off of it, and it's not going to cause us to be delusional. All right. At the end of the day, we got some common sense over here. She go back to her widowhood. Some of you women go back to your whatever hood it is you were indulging and partaking of before. I ain't gonna say it's a blessing to be sleeping with your family and all that, but to be the mother of the lineage that brings forth the Lion of the tribe of Judah is something great. I don't know how you're going to get there, but don't go back to your widowhood once you get there, okay? That's all I'm just saying. Stand your ground. You done did it. If you ain't proud of what you did, don't do it. Even this Bible says, wherefore now there's no shame or condemnation for those that are in Christ. And Christ is in Judah. Sprang out of Judah. See how spirit works in the world? You just got to be willing to be led by this kind of doctrine and teaching. It all goes together, even though the enemy divided, rip it, got us all believing different parts of it and not wanting to own other parts of it and made a mess of it. It's still enough truth out here for us to get right with God and understand what's really happening in the world based off of what happened in these stories. So now we got basically she went back to her old ways, okay. 20 says, and Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adulamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Like, she left. He like, where the hell she go to? Where my baby at? Where? That's a good one. Y'all women be running with the children. Where the baby at? Get a man a chance. I know he ain't right. He ain't got no business sleeping with his son's wife or whatever. Why you up and leave with the baby? Now, I don't believe it to be absolutely true, but the man who took his girlfriend who was pregnant and then ran down his wife in that Facebook footage and said his depression started when she wouldn't let him see the children and all this. I just stop making excuses, people. You did that shit because you couldn't cope with life. You want to be married, want to play married, then you want to allegedly go cheat on that marriage to have an outside baby and the woman come up pregnant, and then the woman tell you, well, you can't see your kids and all that, and then you want to use that as an excuse to kill two people while your children sit in the car and you kill yourself. Come on, guys. We got to do better, okay? Got to do better. We can help one another out of these situations. It all depends on if you're ready to have a revelation and be revealed, or if you want to keep running back to your widowhood clothes, sackcloth and ashes. So 21 says, then he asked the men of the place, saying, where is the harlot? Some men like sleeping with women of the night. Judah was one of them. He referred to her baby mama and all, as a harlot. Son's ex-wife, widowed wife as a harlot. What you think they saying about your daddy? What movie was it? Was it Little Nicky? It was one of the movies where they was in a parking lot, y'all. They was in a parking lot, right? Listen, and they was having church. It was a scene, I can't remember it, but Black Pastor was there talking or whatever, and he was like, "Yeah, oh, maybe it was the church scene." And Little Nicky said, "That's why your wife." Oh, Lord have mercy. It was a pastor selling out the whole congregation, telling them everything. No, no, it could have been Little Nicky. I don't know, but it was a crazy scene where the pastor was like, "That's why your husband was with so and so last night, and your husband was over here, baby. Listen, get the widow clothes off of you, okay? Whether they call you a harlot or not, honey, it ain't what they call you. It's how you respond and what you answer to, okay?" Let them call you what they want to call you, honey. I'm trying to tell you. She's being referred to as a harlot that was openly by the wayside. And they said there was no harlot in this place. She playing tricks on you. She like that Oasis. Midnight at the Oasis. Hey. Midnight at the Oasis. Yes. Ooh. Da-dee-da-dee-da. She like, you see me today and I'll be gone tomorrow. It was just an illusion, Judah. But I believe he's gonna find her and the baby, okay, eventually. So anyway, they said, "No, she's no harlot here," and cause they probably didn't perceive her as a harlot. He did. They probably saw a nice, beautiful young lad, a pregnant woman, trying to get away, and never perceived her. So they probably saw the woman, just the perception of a harlot. Like, nah, we didn't see nobody like that. Remember, it wasn't until she got back to where she was that she put on the widowhood clothes again. So they probably saw her looking delightful, unlike Leah. I'm only joking, y'all. Let me get done with this damn read. Alright, so I knew I was going to have fun with this, and it is very educational. Then they said, "We didn't see a harlot." 22. And he returned to Judah and said, "I cannot find her." And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. So it was Judah's henchmen who went calling the woman a harlot. They're like, "Hey, we ain't see no harlot here." So now he's going back to Judah. Say, "Hey, the harlot wasn't there." Let's see what Judah said. 23. And Judah said, "Let her take," let's see, "it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her." Like, I don't want to be shamed. I slept with this girl. I don't want nobody throwing no dirt on my name. I said I was going to give her a kid, give her the sinlet, give her the bracelets, give her my staff, give her this, that, and the third. We need to find her. I want to make it right with her. She shouldn't have got up so early. Maybe I would have cooked her breakfast. I might have would have built her a house, but she left. So now I gotta find this lady, okay? He didn't address the harlot though. 24 says, "And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom." And when he find out it's him, baby, when he find out it's him. And Judah said, "Bring her forth and let her be burnt." Judah don't know that she was the harlot he slept with. He really didn't know, y'all, because now he want the lady burnt at the stake like she's a witch. 25. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and bracelets and staff? So she received the items. And she said, so she must have been in disguise. And a little drinking. You don't know who you're sleeping with, people. And so she's like, the man I'm with child with gave me these things. So they must have found her to deliver the presents or whatever. She said, this is, and Judah gonna look and say, hell, that's my stuff. I believe. She said in 26, and Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shalom my son, and he knew her again no more. 27, and it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. This twins, I thought it was just Esau and Jacob. What twins are these right here? Who twins are these right here? So it goes on to say, y'all, basically, twins are in her stomach. 28, and it came to pass when she travailed that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, this came out first. Who? Tamar. Who come out first? Perez is a twin. I can't remember, y'all. 29, and it came to pass as he drew back his hand that, behold, his brother came out, and she said, how hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. Pharez, P-A-H-R-E-Z, Pharez. 30, and afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hands, and his name was called Zara. Perez and Zara. Perez, not Zara. Remember, Judah has Er, he has Onan, he has Shalu, he has now Perez and Zara. Perez is the one, the lion of the tribe of Judah come at him. A lot of people are confused about that, but it's the God's honest truth. All right, so now, verse 39, let's read chapter 1, and we got 23 to go. All right, so 39 says, and Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down hither. 2, and the Lord was with Joseph. You better believe it and better know it. And he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. Master means slave master. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hands. Can we be a Joseph in these last days, dear Lord? Prosper our hands, right? All things our hands touch. So 4 says, and Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him and made him oversee over his house, and all that he had put in his hands. 5, and it came to pass from the time that he had made him oversee in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptians' house for Joseph's sake. The Lord will bless the enemy's house for your sake. Did anybody pick up on that today? The Lord blessed Egypt for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the fields, okay? Now listen, it's getting good, y'all. Listen. And 6 says, and he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. So we got a lot of things going on. Remember, there was a lot of people getting pregnant at one time, a lot of people hooking up, a lot of people crossing paths and into, mingling with other people in the day, right? So 6 says, and he left all that he had in Joseph's hands, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. Okay. 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. See? You don't got to be doing anything wrong with somebody taking set upon you. That's why the Messiah says to even look upon a person is like a sin, because it's going to lead Joseph to prison because of this lie in the eyes of the lust and the eyes of the pride and the lust of the flesh and all of that stuff does to people. And for the innocent, sometimes it sends you to prison, okay? So you got to get that in control, guys, under control. 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. And he probably said no. And right then, rejection, you become the enemy. And now I got to revenge you and pay you back and make you suffer for that. Yep. So 8 says, but he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master wotteth not with what is with me in this house, and he hath committed all that he hath to me. Potiphar left me in charge with everything, and you want me to sleep with you and betray him, and I didn't have nowhere to go. They took me in, yada, 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 yada. Even though God is with me, they still provided the substance for me. And you want me to lose all of this because of your greed and your lust in your flesh? No, thank you. And he pays for this, y'all. Or does he? God will use your enemy to bless you. That's all I'm saying. So, and sometimes that blessing comes with lessons that we have to learn along the way. But if you can stick with it, you'll get with it eventually. So, 9 says, there is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. I got access to everything but you, and I don't desire you, lady. I'm here to do my master some justice. There are some good people left in this world. We don't want nothing but what's rightfully ours and what we agreed to be involved in. I didn't agree to be involved with you. You have nothing to do with this. Joseph just told her, I'm in greater command than you are. He left me with everything, not you. He told me I could touch everything but you. Joseph could do that, but she can't do that for a couple days while the master is gone away. Come on now, ladies. So, and verse 10 says, oh, wait. Verse 9 says, how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? God has provided me a man to trust me with his all. And the last thing I'm going to do is violate that by sleeping with you, lady. Another man's wife. Let's just put that out there. Because if she wasn't another man's wife, he probably would have slept with her. Let's just keep it real. But he's like, no, when you hear that against God, I'm not, no, I'll leave it alone, lady. It's not right. That's not what God asked me to do. God is providing for me, not you, not your husband. Although it looked like it because I'm in charge of everything, God is with me, making it all possible. So, verse 11. No, let's go verse 10. And it came to pass as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. So this didn't just go on one day. This went on several different days, y'all. Several different days, y'all. For a period of who knows how long, right? So, verse 11. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. So this is probably where she took advantage of Joseph. 13. And it came to pass when she saw that she had left his garment in her hand, he was fled forth. 13. And it came to pass when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand. His garment was in her hand. She tried to take something of his off and had it in her hands, and was fled forth, and was outside, was already gone. 14. That she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought in the Hebrew unto us to mock us. They weren't supposed to be around the Egyptians. Listen. He came unto me. That's why I say, could God have mocked Israel? I meant mocked Isis and Ra with the word Israel. They was mocking each other back and forth. It was gods playing games against other gods, using people in the process. She said they sent the Hebrew in to mock us. These are Egyptians talking. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. Was not the truth. 15. And it came to pass when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled, and got him out like left. 16. And she said she laid up the garment by her until his Lord come home. She's going to leave it with her until Potiphar comes back. 16. And she laid up his garment by her until the Lord come home. 17. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And that's not true. But a lot of them went into the Israelites to mock God, because the Israelites were supposed to keep their bloodline clean and not lay with other races. Even if they were related, was not supposed to do it. Don't ask me how, but that's the truth of the matter. So 18. And it came to pass. Remember, we read Jacob and Dinah and Shechem. He was uncircumcised, and Jacob got pissed off about that, right? So listen, 18. And it came to pass as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. 19. And it came to pass when his masters heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. For what? A woman telling a dang on lie. 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Listen, y'all. 21. But the Lord was with Joseph, and shewed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. 22. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hands all the prisoners that were in there. He was the doer of it. All right? Always the go-to guy, right? The smartest, the charmist, the most full of wisdom. I mean, receivable, right? Joseph just had a thing with him, right? So 23 says, The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. And that's what it's all about, guys. Prospering. And with that being said, let's go ahead and give you a little music so we can get out of here. That ends the morning read, y'all. All right, what's going on? All right, don't look like the music. Anyway, that was pretty good. Pretty good. Great stories. We learned a lot of lessons. You guys can comment down below. Tomorrow, yeah, let's go ahead and play. There you go. All right, let's see. Okay, no, let's go ahead and fix that. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all. So anyway, tomorrow, well, no, I gotta come right back. Today is the 14th. I have to do 40 through 42. And then we only have to go to 50 and we'll be done with the book of Genesis. So yeah, I'll come back and I'll do 40, 41. God, that's a long verse. 42. God. All right, we'll get through it anyway. Let's see. There we go. All right, so yeah, that ends the morning read, y'all. I am out of here. This is hot. I'm gonna take this off. All right. I'm gonna get me some lunch in a little while. I'll be back. Probably I'll just do this read like on an upload. I don't know. I'm gonna come back live because this is easier to go live, read it, get it out the way. Chapter 40, 41, 42. And when I tell you, let's see, 40 has 23 verses, 41 has 57 verses, and then 42 has 38 verses. So we'll get all of that done in a minute, like about an hour. And then I have really all day where I can come back and do some live call-ins and stuff. And I really want to give my commentary and opinion on some things I've been seeing and hearing on social media and a couple of things in the news as well. But definitely social media. So you've been watching ReligionWinked TV, and my spiritual ears stand. When the music ends, so does the morning read, episode 325, y'all. Stay tuned for 326, and we'll be back on schedule. I only missed one read. I just did it. I owe you today. I'm going to do it, and we'll be back on track tomorrow. We have less than 40 reads to go. Yeah, when I come back, Genesis chapter 40, 41, 42. And we only have to go to Genesis chapter 49 and 50 on the 17th, and the book of Genesis is done. Moving into the book of Exodus. Shalom, everybody. God bless you and have a great day. I will see you on the next live upload and or premiere. Peace. Yay, we did it. We did it. We did it. Another one in the books, y'all. Another one in the books. Yes. Oh, thank you all. Thank you to everybody who came in the live chat. Thanks for the engagement. God bless you and have a great day.